by sharing their successes, challenges, entrepreneur endeavors, and much more with the intent to inspire other upcoming changemakers. The 1847 show also promotes the Liberian culture by creating a space for individuals to learn the history of our nation to find solutions to problems that affect our country today. For this and much more, stay tuned for All Things Liberian. We'll be right back after this short break.
Lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hail, Liberia hail. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This rural land of liberty shall long be for all of us. And I'm talking about one person, all of us.
You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hail, Liberia hail. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This rural land of liberty shall long be for all of us. And I'm talking about one person, all of us.
Hey, welcome back. You're watching the 1847 show, and this is Season 1, Series 3, Episode 14, which is the dialogue and is the final episode of our series called Reimaging Liberia. This series has highlighted individuals who are rebranding the image of Liberia through digital mediums like the internet by telling the stories of not just themselves, but our country. For this dialogue, we've gathered some of the bright minds who are pioneering the rebranding of our history and culture It is evident that these individuals are driven by passion, and we're hoping that their passion to promote positive image for Liberia fuels a productive dialogue today, as we all continue finding ways to utilize storytelling to rebrand our productive Liberia. So stay tuned. I'm going to welcome our guest now. Our first guest today is Mr. Archie B. Rogers, who is the co-founder of Arch Media Agency. And unfortunately, some of the guests that we interviewed during the series weren't able to make it. However, we do have a special guest joining us today, and her name is Estella Toure. Welcome, guys. How are you all?
Thank you. I'm okay.
Okay,
I'm doing
awesome.
good. I'm doing great.
Nice. Thank you all for joining. But for those of you that are watching, before we start the conversation, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on the stream to stay engaged. So for you guys, can you do the audience a favor and briefly introduce yourselves, starting with you, Mr. Rogers?
Uh, so, hello to everyone. I want to say a big thank you to Prince firstly for the invitation once more. So I came the last time and we had a very great conversation. We discussed more about the work we are doing and how we are driving change and also impacting our community as well. So, for the sake of those of you who don't know me, I'm Archie Rogers, and I'm the co-founder for Arch Media Agency. So, Arch Media Agency, it's a Liberian-owned multimedia startup that has been operating for a little over 2 years, and we are into video production, graphic design, social media management, and the list goes on. So, I'm excited to be here today, and I look forward to having a great conversation with my co, I don't know, I should say panelists or
Yeah,
guests.
panelist is just correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So we'll bring on board Miss Toure. So, ma'am, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
So, hello, my name is Estella Toure. So, in short, I would say I am a community volunteer. I'm a young woman who believes in serving her community and just, giving back to society in whatever little way I feel capacitated. So, that's just me for short.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So this is a dialogue, right? So at any point, feel free to chime in if you feel like you have something to contribute. There is no specific order unless when I say, hey, you go first. But let's start off the question by talking about content creation. So in Liberia, the idea of content creation is fairly new. And then besides the expansion of the internet, what else do you guys think that has given rise to the creation of content on the internet or storytelling in general? And since Mr. Roger, your agency works directly with this, can you speak to that?
Prince, I didn't get the last few words you said. I don't know. Can you please?
So, besides the expansion of the internet, what else do you think has given rise to content creation in Liberia specifically?
Oh, yeah. So, I think within Liberia, I want to speak on a general basis, but I'll try to narrow it to Liberia. I think the fact that a lot of people has realized that this is something that can be monetized, and this is something that has some sort of financial benefit. I think that's the best way to put it. But this is something that has some sort of financial benefit to it. So that in itself has given relevance to the whole idea of content creation. And now we see there are a lot of blogs in Liberia, particularly. We see a lot of influencers coming up, and although a lot of them are not really getting much or are not even earning anything from the work they are doing or from the content they are putting out there, but just the mindset that okay, having a social media page where I can share content, I can share things that are entertaining for my audience to watch or engage with, and that gave me some sort of relevance. Just that idea in itself has given rise to this whole content creation thing. And besides that, now we see a lot of young Liberians, they are even getting into this whole content creation thing. We see a lot of agencies coming up. We see a lot of blogs, and the list goes on. But for me, like I said, the main reason that that has given rise to this thing is the idea of monetization.
Okay. Monetization. That's awesome. Miss Toure, would you like to add to that?
So, Mr. Roger, how do you think content creation drives impact or change among young people?
Yeah, I think that's actually a very great question. Now we see a lot of people don't really depend on radio anymore or the legacy media to get information. Back then, I remember a few years back, if you want to get information, of course, you have to listen to radio or you have to tune into television. But now, we see you can go on social media, Facebook, and access information. So just the access to information, that has gone so wide, and coming back to your question, that in itself, has helped impact our community. Because imagine if I am living way in what's the kind of rural area name I can call that? Okay, Bokonima, which is where somewhere where you might not even know anybody, right? And you don't have access to radio or you don't have access to television, but you have access to internet some ways. You can go on social media, Facebook, because now I'm quite sure a lot of people in Liberia, even in the rural areas, they have access to social media. So you can go on Facebook and still learn about what is happening in Monrovia and still learn about what is happening in Duporo, in Oro, or wherever it might be, just from social media. And that in itself, it helps people in making informed decisions. So based on the information you have, or based on the vast access to information, that kind of help with kind of decision you make, especially now that we are driving towards elections. People are seeing on
Mhm,
social media how things happening in the country, how people are getting
mhm,
killed, how this is going on. So that will help them in making informed decision of who to elect, who not to elect, and how to go about with that. So I think social media has helped in a lot of ways, and not just older people, but young people as well. For the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, social media has really been a great help since a lot of young people and other people start getting involved with it.
Awesome.
considering like listening to how much you said social media have made impact, there on the other end someone would say that social media has made negative impact beyond the good impact. How can you simply say like the level of impact it has done, like how much positive impact does social media gives as it compares with the negative impact?
Yeah, social media has done a lot more good than harm, but
Mm-hmm.
we cannot do away. We cannot just talk about the good and not also
Mm-hmm.
emphasize on some of the ways social media is affecting our community. Because of
Mm-hmm.
social media now, we see a lot of misinformation, which is something that has become
Exactly.
so, which is something that
Mm-hmm.
has become so common. Anybody can go on social media and just post because
Mm-hmm.
it's a free platform. People are not paying money to
Exactly. And
go
because
there,
of the
share.
speed, and exactly, and because of the speed of the platform, so you find out like within a blink of an eye, information goes beyond points you didn't expect. So
Right. Right. So even I think it was during the 2017 elections. I think
mhm,
2017 elections are also a lot of politicians. Even now the 2023 you call it elections that are coming up. We see a lot of
mhm,
politicians, a lot of public figures who are actually using social media to drive misinformation, to share propaganda. Using it for their own personal good. But social media, this is one thing I will always tell anybody. It just depends on how you make use of the platform, for what purpose you are using it, and how you want to leverage your own how you call it page
Platform.
or brand. Yeah, brand. That's the right word to use. How you want to leverage your own brand, to get your message across, or to maybe drive traffic to your platform, or maybe to promote product you're selling, or maybe to get more
mhm,
customers. So it depends how you use the platform. But social media can be bad and it can also be good. But it comes back to how you make use of the platform.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. So you talked a bit about some of the benefits or the reasons why people got into the content creation business, and you mentioned monetization, which also ties
Right.
into benefiting the economy. So tourism in itself, when we create content, we're attracting tourists. We want people. We garnered interesting people to want to see what we're creating, to want to come and visit Liberia. So there are a lot of benefits from empowering local vendors to people who work in hotels. So how has your business helped promoted the tourism industry in Liberia? How would you say?
Yeah, so the kind of content that we put out there, these are content that uh, it might not be directly, but some ways indirectly, it's selling out the country. It's promoting local talents, because so far most of the contents we've been creating, they have been focused towards or tailored towards local talents, be it entrepreneurs, be it artists, be it creatives, or wherever field you might be in. So for the past few years, we have been focusing mainly on entrepreneurs. So sharing their stories, seeing how, uh, giving them the opportunity to explain, how the work they have been doing, that people have not had the time or the chance to see or get to know, talking more about it. And you have somebody from Russia, somebody from the US, somebody from Uganda, someone from Liberia, watching that person explaining their story, and the person get a different perspective of Liberia. Okay, that
Okay.
means Liberia is not just a country where George Weah came from. Because if you're talking to people outside the country, if you tell them that you are from Liberia, one question they will ask you, is it a country where George Weah came from? So that's the one way, a lot of people know Liberia to be. But now if they have the chance to see this other side of Liberia, then now they have a different perspective. Down they are not just seeing Liberia as a country where George Weah came from, or Liberia as a country where there was a 14-year civil war, or Liberia as a country where corruption is very high. But now they are seeing Liberia as a country where there are talented entrepreneurs. There are people with great ideas. So if you can sell the country, in that manner through your content, I think you are actually selling out the country, promoting the country, encouraging more tourists to come in, and and, and,
Exactly.
and yeah, encouraging more tourists to come in and also help develop the economy.
Yeah. So,
Exactly.
Miss Toure, in your experience, what have you noticed about some of the benefits of content creation as far as promoting the economy?
So, like you were talking about tourism, I think there are platforms that promote the cultural aspect of Liberia. And through that means they attract tourists to come to Liberia, to visit these sites. And through that means the tourist industry benefits from that. And like he said, to businesses platform, there are young people in Liberia who are talented, and once the bloggers and these internet platform carry their information, carry their stories, protect them, and how much work they're putting in, there are other people who see this work and follow, and they are interested, they are attracted to this work.
For sure,
So
for
it
sure,
has a whole lot of impact.
for sure.
Yeah, and I think just to add on to what Estella also said, you see that this place, there is this popular place in Liberia. I think it's called Watawi Waterfall.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So some people knew about Watawi Waterfall. What made that place popular was from things that people started sharing on social media. Now,
Exactly.
if a tourist is coming to Liberia, that's the first place the person wants to visit to get that
Mm-hmm.
experience. Because if anyone goes there, they will try to capture their experience there. They will try to document their experience through a video or picture or whatever it might be. They share it on social media, and people, they are amazed. They're like, wow. So there is somewhere like this in Liberia. So that means I don't need to go to Uganda or Zambia or Tanzania. I can also go to Liberia and have fun as well. So, the kind of things we post on social media can either promote our country or demote our
Mhm.
country. That's why most of my friends, at times when I'm talking to them, some of my friends from Liberia, I usually tell them, you have to be careful with things you should share on social media because indirectly, you might be harming your country. Then you think, you just want to get your voice out there, or you just want to add your voice to those who are speaking out there. But the more positive things you say about your country, that can also encourage people to come into your country and obviously help to
Exactly.
develop the economy or grow the economy. Because tourism is one of the big industry.
For sure.
If the tourism industry is booming, obviously the country's economy will also boom. You see Singapore. You see, why I shouldn't even go to Singapore. You see, Tanzania.
Mhm.
When a lot of people going to Tanzania, they want to go and see Mount Kilimanjaro. They want to go and see, their resorts and some beautiful things they have there, the park and so forth. And Liberia is no different. But it just depends on what we share on social media. So
For
that
sure.
will make people to want to come Liberia and not go to Morocco.
Yeah. So there are lots of people helping to share this story of Liberia and how well we are doing. Besides what has happened in our past, and some of these people, a lot of them are bloggers, right? But we have very
Mhm.
few that are tour guides. So, and part of the reason why we don't have a lot of tour guides is because the barrier to entry to becoming a tourist, helping guide people around, showing people all these things, is very expensive, honestly. So you need money to fund your travel. You need money to get in connection with all these international travelers. So it's quite expensive. So in your experience, what do you think people can do if they're wanting to be, not just a blogger, but more like a vlogger where they can showcase Liberia, but how can they overcome the expensive that comes with it?
Yeah, I don't Estella, you want to come in? Or
Go
should I
ahead.
just Oh, okay.
Yes,
So,
just go ahead.
one thing that you know some people don't know, creating content is expensive, especially as a
Yeah.
travel blogger. Even if you are now an international travel blogger, you could be a local travel blogger like this girl. What's her name? Loretta. So she usually go around creating content showcasing Liberia. And besides Loretta, there are a few people in Liberia who, they are doing similar things. Creating content is expensive. You have to consider budget for traveling. You have to consider budget for feeding. If you're
Lodging,
traveling, maybe in a rural area, you need a hotel. You have to consider all those things. So the truth is, it's expensive. But one thing I can tell anyone, you have to first put yourself out there, brand yourself, and then when people start to believe in your platform, these are the same people that will support your work.
hmm
That's the case with Loretto. When she started, I'm just using her as a case study. When
hmm
she started, she was creating content in Pinsville, where she lives. I don't know Pinsville or I would just say Monrovia, where she usually do her daily activities, like go to
right,
school, come home. She started to document those things, and gradually people started to see her work, and a lot of people who used to follow her, they love her work. And then some people started encouraging her. I think you need to go other places to showcase how people live in other places in Liberia and so forth. So those same people who started following her work, because she managed to brand herself, grow her platform, and make people to want what she was putting out there. So that in itself added value to the kind of content she was creating. So because of that value, people are willing to support her. So I feel, initially you have to spend a little. You don't have to spend too much. You have to spend a little, maybe a few transportation going around. You don't have to go Lofa, Mangibi. You can start with right in your surrounding,
right where you
creating
are.
content. Right. It just depends on the value you add to it. So if your content has value, people will love it and they will support it.
Yeah, and what I've noticed too is some of the videos that get the most views are not even the ones that are in the county. Sometimes it's just a video of the market of people doing this normal things in the market. And we all
Exactly.
know that we have markets all across Liberia. Uh, every one of us go to the market to buy our food. So the could just be a simple video of someone selling in the market and you just sharing their story. Hey,
Yeah,
how is this experience for you? What are your goals and ambitions? And just interviewing that person in the market.
yeah,
But there are many barriers to entry, but I know with a lot of things that we as entrepreneurs get involved in, you do need a lot of self-investment. So no one
exactly.
will believe in that goal or that dream of yours unless you can show that you yourself believe in it. How do you show that? Is by spending your own money. If you are not
Exactly.
willing to spend your own money, why should other people be willing
Yeah,
to spend money on you?
right.
Yeah.
It's for sure. And you know one thing about content, which I feel a lot of how you call it, most people are not aware of, is the fact that even with content that usually go viral, people will engage with something that they can relate to. You know, the kind of content that Loretta and few others who they are doing showcasing Liberia. It's a content that is kind of centered around Liberian community, the everyday Liberian, like you call it, Liberian people way of living, and all those things. So
Hmm.
even Liberian in the diaspora, these are things that they can easily relate to, so they
For
will
sure.
want to watch it. If you go in the market, like guerrilla market, and just put up your camera, start to record people selling pepper, just doing their normal thing. You share those kind of content, people will love it. You go down waterside, these boys that who can sell along the street. You just engage with them, put your camera on, and just do a random video. Have them, doing their normal thing that they usually do. That video will go viral. Liberians will want to watch it. They will engage with it
Yeah.
because they can relate to it. But if I can relate to something, why should I watch it?
Yeah, for sure. And another thing to remember too is it's not just to make relatable content, but it's relevant content and also
Right,
content that is genuine, right? So it can
right,
be relatable, but if it's not relevant to whatever the trend is today or whatever people are talking about, well, they're gonna go to what is relevant first, right? So you don't want to do
true.
things that are not relevant. And then also you want genuine content. And by genuine, I mean people being themselves. So you don't want people
Right.
acting in videos. That's not genuine. No one wants to see an actor.
Yeah,
If they want to see it, they will
exactly.
go and watch a movie. That's what movies are for. So make genuine content, be yourself, smile and everything. But Ms. Touré, is there anything you want to add? How can people, overcome the challenges of coming into the content creation industry or the tourism industry, if you will?
There, there are numerous challenges. I am sure, like especially for some of these bloggers, getting information, getting content, going about doing research. The challenges are just numerous, and there are little means, little resources, of overcoming them. But then one thing is, once you are passionate about doing what you're doing, mm, like for example, like what you were saying, going.
So it looks like her internet cut out. But anyways, Mr. Roger, was there anything else you would like to add to that before we move on to the next discussion point?
No, with that, like I said, there are a lot of ways you can overcome that challenge, or challenges that are involved in creating content with little resources. But you just have to be intentional about it. And when I say intentional, it comes with consistency. Because if you start doing content and you share on social media, you see low engagement. This is one thing that can push a lot of content creators away. If you make the first bold step, you invest your own personal money into it. You do a content that you so sure that okay, this content is gonna blow, and then you share on social media. After 1 week,
Yo, I'm laughing because what you're saying is just is so relatable, and I can even give a personal
yeah,
experience here. But go ahead.
exactly. After 1 week, you see 10 reaction, maybe no comment, or 5 reaction, or 20 reaction, no
You
comment
should
share
be
anything.
more than blessed if you have 10 reactions from your first
For
video.
real, like.
You should
And
be thanking God.
the thing about it, where it gets more complicated based on the kind of platform you are using. For like YouTube is one of the platforms where it's so hard to grow, and most of the content creators, they want to share their platform, they want to share their content on a platform where they can benefit from, because they know that YouTube, obviously, if you share more content, you are eligible to monetize, you make money from it. So most of them will share on YouTube. You share on YouTube, and then the engagement is so low. At least for Facebook, Liberians will somehow engage with it one way or the other. But
Hmm.
YouTube, not many how you call it Liberians are using YouTube or go on YouTube consistently.
Correct.
So
Mhm.
that in itself will discourage you. And once you start to feel discouraged, that's where the uh, the inconsistency comes in, because now you cannot keep up with making your audience to want something every time. And once you cannot do that, that's where everything fall out of place. Then you start wondering, but what's going on? What's happening? So it comes with consistency, and to be consistent, you really have to be intentional about what you are doing, because it takes time. It takes time, effort, fun eyes. It takes a lot.
And one of the things I think that needs to be factored into that, to help you through those challenging time is the idea of your overall purpose, the reason why you're doing something, right? So if you just got into the business because you want to make the most money or you want to get the most reactions, well, those are okay reasons, right? But what happens when you don't start getting those? It's
Yeah,
not something that is personal to you, so therefore you can easily let it go. So you have to find a reason that is personal, something that motivates you, something that you wouldn't just give up easily. You're gonna fight your last breath for before you give up. So it has to be that deep for you to stay consistent. Because if you do not find a personal reason or personal motivation to do things, and it's just because I want to get the most views, well, if you only get 5 views, now you're very, very discouraged, and you think everybody hates you and the world doesn't like
yeah,
you, and then you start to blame yourself and become a victim. So
sure.
find a personal reason, a deep meaning behind why you want to get into content creation. And an example could be, I love my country so much and I want to show the world how beautiful Liberia is. So that's
Right.
a meaning that is way beyond you and it's bigger than yourself. And there's always going to be a need for that. So you're always going to know
Yeah,
you have to keep pushing. So that's another thing I think
exactly.
can help too.
True, true.
Yeah, and we have some engagements here, and we'll show them shortly. So keep staying engaged, guys. We appreciate you commenting. If you are not following the show and you're watching, please don't forget to follow. The one other thing I want to bring up here is you kind of mentioned briefly that as Liberia, we're known for maybe George Weah. I would say probably more than that will be the Civil War as well. A lot of people that I talk to know Liberia because of the 14-year brutal civil war that we went
Yeah,
through. Instead of the major strides that we've made in Africa, like electing the first female president,
yeah,
or even having the only African that have won the Ballon d'Or, which is George Weah. We're not really known for those things. We're known for the negative things that have affected our past and are still affecting our future. So, how do you think? How are you guys as an organization, as an institution? Why do you think it's important for Liberians themselves to know this and you know maybe be able to change, because before the world can start to see Liberia differently, we ourselves have to start seeing ourselves differently. So how can we change our mindset about who we are as Liberians? Because a lot of times Liberians feel like if you do not leave Liberia, things are not going to change for the better.
yeah,
So we cannot expect other people to think good of us if we ourselves do not even believe in ourselves, right?
yeah. True.
If you yourself
No,
is like,
you're
I
right.
have to leave this country to do better, then why do you expect the next person to think, oh, that's a great country, that's an amazing place to be? So we first have to change our own mindset. So why do you think that is important, and how can content creation start helping Liberians think differently about themselves?
Yeah, I think it starts with what we share on social media, because that's the easiest way for people to get to know about our country, to get to experience our country without visiting Liberia. I can be in Qatar, I can be in the US, Philippines, or wherever, and I still get to experience Liberia from what I see on social media. I still get to see how beautiful Liberia is from what I see on social media. You think why a lot of people, a lot of female, I would say, will want to go to Maldives? Because they believe that Maldives is a vacation area. It's a beautiful place with blue water. It has some nice, how you call it? There are nice hotels, and you just name it. But you'll be so surprised. There are areas in Maldives that you won't want to visit, but a lot of people haven't seen that side. So the truth about it, what we share on social media, we have to be very careful about what we share on social media. You don't have to be a content creator before you promote your country. You can just be a normal, ordinary individual on social media, just doing his normal thing. If you go somewhere, you take a picture, write a very nice caption. You'll be surprised. There might be people from somewhere else following you who have never been to Liberia. So what we share on social media is very important. And one thing I want to encourage a lot of young people is to get into content creation. This is one thing I want to encourage a lot of young people to get into content creation. The world that we are living in and the century we are in, the internet, technology, social media, it's moving at a very fast pace. A lot of things are rapidly changing,
Yes, sir.
especially technology. So I remember 5, 10 years ago, a lot of people didn't really care about social media, but now a lot of people, not just individuals, but businesses, they are using social media for a good cause. A lot of businesses, even small businesses, they are using social media to either sell their product, to drive sale, for different reasons. People are using social media. So if we have more young people getting into content or getting into content creation, we'll have a lot more good thing out there about Liberia. Then people will start to change their perception that Liberia is a country where there was a 14 years civil war. Then people will get to know, okay, Liberia is a country where we had the first female president.
Head of state. Yep.
Right. So it just depends on what we share on social media. And more young people, they need to do away with this misinformation. People just go on social media, to ruin one another reputation or image or integrity and so forth. But if we can go on social media with the purpose of promoting our country, with the purpose of selling ourselves out there, of promoting our brand, a lot more will change. People will start to see Liberia as a whole different country where they should start visiting, or that they should visit for either investment or for tourism purpose. So
Yeah.
we all, it's a joint effort. It's not just one person doing it. It's something that requires everyone's effort, and this is something that is achievable. We all just need to see how we can promote our country in our own ways.
Yeah. So, Miss Estella, thank God that the internet in Liberia has brought you back. So, we'll pray to God.
Yes,
But go ahead.
Sarah, the challenges of overcoming the challenges affects some of these blockers and promoting your content when it comes to social media. And sadly for me, the internet dropped, and that's one of the problems, because we don't have a stable internet. So you trying to promote something, you trying to upload something, or maybe you trying to just project something at a particular time, and you just lost connection, and there's no way you can come up at that time. But it doesn't mean that you can come back. You can set another day, or you can find another time to continue your work. So it still falls back to how much passion that you have. For example, Archie was talking about red light, and if there are some particular programs like you have about these local vendors, and then you want to share their experience, especially in this rainy season time. mm, some of the challenges of getting to red light and looking at their conditions, the kind of conditions they go through, and coping with the internet crisis in Liberia, it's a kind of whole lot of issues that would hinder the time, or hinder your time your work and how much you want to give out on the platform. But then it shouldn't in a particular way deter you as as a social media blogger, or as how should I say it, with the kind of work that you do. It shouldn't deter you. Once you have the passion and you are committed, and like Aji said, with consistency, I think you can continue to
Yeah.
push for your work.
Right. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I think her internet, it keeps lagging. I don't know if
Yes, yes.
that's right.
And that's just a real life, real time example of what she's talking about. So, but thank you, Miss Estella, for adding those points. So we're at the halfway point of this interview. But before we go on our break to come back for the 1847 game show, we are
Okay.
going to put some of the engagements on the screen here for those of you that are commenting and staying engaged. We appreciate you. So we have the first person here. Olive B says, Boss RGB Rogers, and a boss man, thank you for staying engaged. And then Diamond Charlie here says, that's right, sir, Mr. Rogers. So thank you, Diamond, for staying engaged. And then someone here says, watching from the old road. So thank you for staying engaged as well. And then Jerome says, right, agreeing with something that one of us probably said. And then we have Diamond Charlie says consistency is key. Also commenting about technology. So thank you guys for staying engaged, and thank you for watching. You're watching, of course, the 1847 show, and this is the dialogue where we're talking about reimaging Liberia, specifically how the tourism industry is helping to reshape not just our past, but our future as well. So once we come back from this break, we're going to have the 1847 game show. So until then, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Ah, lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hill, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This rural land of liberty shall long be for all of us. And I'm talking about one person, all of us.
Hello, my name is Grace Choma Baba, founder of Destiny Creative Organization and owner at Genesis Snacks. You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.
Welcome back. You're watching the 1847 show. I'm your host, Prince Larmin Jarbo, and this is season 1, episode 14, which is part of our series called Reimaging Liberia. This series has highlighted individuals who are rebranding the image of Liberia through digital mediums. We have two guests today, which one was Mr. Rogers, who is the co-founder of Arch Media Agency, and our special guest, Miss Estella Toure. So right now we're at the second segment of the show, which is when we played the 1847 game show. So I'm going to welcome our guest back and share the screen here so we can go ahead and get started. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So
I mean, it's just spots.
all right. So I just wanted you to see the score right here. So basically, pretty much how the game works. I'm going to bring up the rules here quickly. Give me a second, and we'll go over the rules. All right. So let's stop sharing this. Can you guys see the rules?
Yeah.
Okay. So, firstly, like it says, breaks will be entertained to allow feedback from the audience. We are a little running short on time, so that wouldn't really be the case today. But to begin the game, I'm going to give a general question. So, that general question, whoever is the first one to answer it between you and Miss Estella, that person will then go first. There is no point given for answering that general question, however. The game is started by the participants selecting a category followed by the total points. So, for example, one of the categories here today is government ministry. So you will say government ministries, and then you will say how many points you want. So usually, the more difficult, the more higher the points value, the more difficult the question is. So keep that in mind as well. So maybe you don't want to start off with 1,000 points because that's going to be difficult. Now, when you select an answer, all responses to the question must be in the question format. So if the question is about an individual, then you would say who is. If it's about a thing, you say what is. If it's a place, where is. So you have to answer the question in the question format by asking who, what, or when is. Does that make sense?
I didn't understand that part well.
So if I ask you a question, for example, if the question is, this individual was the first president of Liberia. So that is the question, right? So you have to answer back by saying, who is Joseph Jenkins Roberts? So you cannot just say Joseph Jenkins Roberts. You will not get the points for that. You have to
Okay.
say who is if it's a person, what is if it's a thing, where is if it's a place. Does that make sense? And so on.
Yes.
And you have to be quick on your feet. It's not just about knowing the answer, but it's also about
Okay.
knowing how to say it properly. Now, if you fail to phrase your question in a question format, you'll be reminded once. Now, if the next person heard the answer from you and
You'll be reminded once.
if the next person heard the answer and they are able to say it correctly before you do, they will get the points.
Okay.
And the audience and I will not feel sorry for you. All right. So after choosing your choosing your answer to a question, all participants will have about 10 seconds to answer each
Fine.
question. So 10 seconds. If nobody answer after 10 seconds, I will provide the answers and then we'll move on to the next question.
Okay.
The individual who correctly answers the question will be given an opportunity to select the next round. So what that means is if you answer the question, when we're done, you will keep selecting a category and a point value until you fail to answer the question correctly. Now, one thing to remember is just because a person selects a question and a point value does not mean they're the only one who can answer that question. Once the question is shown, anybody can answer it. It's whoever answers it first, that's the person that get the point. Make sense?
Exactly.
All right. So another thing here, keep in mind that you guys are playing for a nonprofit. So whoever wins this game today, the proceeds, you will have a nonprofit of your choice, and the proceeds of $50 will be donated to that nonprofit. It can also be a small business, like a business that is just starting. We usually try to go for nonprofits, but if you have a small business that's struggling that needs money, we can also donate to that. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
It
Yeah.
does, of course.
Any questions before we go ahead and get started?
Let's get started already.
All right. You're
I'm
excited,
excited.
right? So get ready. And the general question that I have for you all is, what is the middle name of the host of the 1847 show? That's the general question, no point value.
who is who is Lama?
Incorrect. So
Who
5 more
is
seconds.
who is Prince Lami Jebo?
That is correct, but I only needed the Lami.
Okay.
All right.
I
So
got that one.
you calling me Lama, ma? Okay. Oh.
I had to rethink it.
No problem. So now that's a general question. There is no point value, but because you answered it correctly,
That his own question.
that question correctly, you can go ahead and select a category first, which is any one of these. We have six categories here. So once you select a category, then you can select any one of the point values here. So for example, if
Okay,
you want
so
sports, you say sports 600 or whatever. Go ahead.
I want slangs, Liberian slangs.
Slangs,
This.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
So the 1,000. I will
So,
leave swing.
so you will say slangs for 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
I thought you're going to ask the question now.
No, say slangs for 1,000 and then we'll click it.
Slangs for 1,000. I didn't get the root for this. So I can say any regular slangs that we usually say in Liberia.
No, so this is the question, right? And whenever you see this daily double in parentheses, this means that this question, whatever you get,
Okay. So when someone has been challenged or is about to do something bad to someone. Hmm.
What is I dare you?
we got 5 more seconds. Anyone else wants to try? What is call me dog?
Yes.
So, and another thing too is if you get the question wrong, you also get points subtracted.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you also get points subtracted. So,
So I actually got points subtracted.
since I did not say that from the beginning, I'll go ahead and waive
Okay,
that
so
rule.
yes.
I'll waive
Okay.
that rule to be fair. But remember that it's not just about answering the question. If you get it wrong, you will get
Mm-hmm.
points deducted as well. So you have to be strategic. And the number of
Okay.
points that you'll get deducted will be the total points that you see here. So, for example,
Oh
he would
wow.
have had negative 1,000 already.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to exit. So, since no one got that one right, as you can see, it's now going away. So,
Mhm.
you cannot select that anymore. So, Ms. Toure, you will go ahead and select another question since nobody got it right.
So let's move to the next point. It's 800. Let's try that.
You can also try a different category. You don't have to stay with the same category.
I know, but I just wanted to stay within that category.
Okay, no problem. So, slangs for 800. This term is used to describe a disrespectful child, though the English definition means something playful or full of energy. This term is used to describe a disrespectful child, though the English definition means something playful or full of energy. 5 more seconds. What is frisky?
I had it in mind, but I'm impressed to get friends subtracted.
You guys have to be a little more confident about yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of that negative point.
I wasn't thinking that direction.
What is frisky? Okay, so nobody answered
But I
it.
think
So
actually can have the chance to choose another category where we can go to now.
no, that's not how it works. So since nobody answered it correctly, we'll always go back to the last person whose turn it was.
Okay. So I have to find another. Okay, let's see Liberian dishes. Maybe we can try that.
Liberian dishes for how many points?
I like to go for big points. So let's go back to 1,000, please.
So Liberian dishes for 1,000.
Yes.
Right. This meal is typically cooked for celebratory purposes and contains ingredients such as long grain rice, tomatoes, onions, spices, vegetables, and meat.
What is jollof
What
rice?
is jollof rice?
Ms. Toure said it first. What is
Yes.
jollof rice? So that's correct. So for 1,000 points.
Okay.
So right here, you look at the score. I'm going to add plus, and you have 1,000 points right here. All right. So since you answered that correctly, you can keep choosing the next category.
Entertainment.
Entertainment for
1,000 points.
They would rather want to take you out soon, Miss.
I'm telling you.
You don't play with you. Take down. Survival 06 is the recent album from these artists. Survival 06 is the recent album from these artists.
Who is Jay-Z?
That is incorrect. 5 more seconds.
Actually, you can try now.
You are so fresh.
So fresh.
Oh.
So Miss Toure has minus 1,000 points, so she's back to 0.
Seriously? No, I gotta get my points back.
So
Let's go to another category. All right, we said stay with entertainment. Let's go for 800, please.
All right, entertainment for 800.
Yes.
This artist is known as the Paramount Chief.
Who is Paramount Chief? Paramount Chief.
5 more seconds.
If I say the wrong answer, my points will be deducted. If I remain mute, there will be no deduction. There will be no addition.
There is no testing, yo. I'll let you know the answer. You know, yo.
No, but if I say the wrong answer, my points will be deducted. All right, if I remain quiet,
the correct
if
answer
I don't
is coming on board. And who is Eldres? Eldres. He is the Paramount Chief. And we brought him. We also interviewed him on the 1847 show too as well.
Yes, I remember.
So nobody has points for that. So Miss Toure, since you were the last one to get a correct answer, you can go ahead and select again. Actually, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let's go to Liberian dishes. 800 points, please.
This ingredient is formed from the swamp and can be used in meals such as pan butter or can be prepared by itself as a barbecue.
What is
better roux?
What is kiss meat, Mr. Rogers? Got it.
Or palm cabbage.
He said, what is kiss meat? Now, Ms. Toure, since Mr. Roger already said the correct answer, the time stopped. That's the only thing that bless you. Yeah. Okay. But next time, if you say the wrong answer first, that minus 800.
All right. So he's above me now. He has 800 points already.
Yep, he's ready to lead.
So he's selecting the next category.
Correct. Go ahead, Mr. Roger.
Okay, let's go with government ministries.
Government ministries for what?
Let's do 800 points.
All right. The abbreviation of this ministry is the same as the phrase missing in action. The abbreviation.
What is Ministry of Internal Affairs?
That is correct. Wow. That's awesome, my man. So plus another 800 points. He's at 1,600.
1,600 points.
Yep.
Okay.
So the
Actually,
audience is
it's in
staying
the head.
engaged here. Say yeah now. All right. So Mr. Raja is still at your level. Go ahead and select the next category and points.
Let's go with the same government ministry for 400.
Talking
Let's do
about politics now, like era.
Let's do
Government
400.
ministry,
He said
government
400.
ministry for 400.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy is the incorrect name of this ministry. The Ministry of Lands, Mines, and Energy is the incorrect name of this ministry.
Lands, mines, and energy. Lands, mines, and energy.
5 more seconds. So I thought our easy ministry and we're going to point. Yeah. All right, time is up. What is the Ministry of Mines and Energy?
Oh.
What is the remember the lands portion was given to somewhere else.
You're
Now
right.
it's just mines and energy. All right. So since nobody answered that, it will be back to you, Mr. Raja.
Okay. Let's do the same government ministry for 200. Let's do 200.
Government ministries for 200. This ministry was formerly DOA, but was renamed after the Liberian legislature passed an act on May 11, 1972. It's too quiet here.
Ministry of Agriculture. What is Ministry of Agriculture?
That is correct. What is the Ministry of Agriculture? Before that, it used to be the Department of Agriculture.
Department of Agriculture. Yeah.
All right. So we're adding 200 points here. So you are in the lead by 1,800 points.
Hey, I still at 0 point no. I think you're being a lead like this.
So back to you, Mr. Raja. Select a category and
the same government ministry 600.
you haven't finished the government one time, right? So government ministries for 600. Daily double. So whoever answers the question correctly will get 1,200 points. This ministry provides consular services to citizens in the diaspora.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
That is partially correct.
What is Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
What is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? That is correct. Remember, you got to say it the right way. So instead of 600, she's going to get 1,200 because it's a daily double here.
Okay.
Actually, thank you for helping me come back. Yeah. I just need 600 now for the points to be tied. And then maybe additional 200 to cross you.
It's back to you now, Miss Toure. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's just conclude this government ministries once and for all. 1,000 points, please.
So whoever gets this is going to be in the lead by a significant margin. So government ministries for 1,000. The question is, this ministries ensures the protection and rights of all social classes, including children.
What is
the Ministry of
Justice?
What
is the Ministry of Gender, Children, and Social Protection?
Oh.
So, Mr. Raja, since you answered first and you are incorrect, I have to minus 1,000 points. And then Miss Toure, since
it was last I saw the children, I'm like, oh no, but then.
All right, so Miss Toure is now in the lead. She has 2,200 points. It's crazy how things can change in this game, so don't give up.
I'm telling you.
Don't give up. So Miss Toure is back to your level. Go ahead.
So we have not touched sports. So let's do sports for 600 points, please.
Sports for 600. Oh, you got me down small and you want to have points.
610.
This individual currently plays for the Liberia national football team and is a former member of Valetila Football Club. Valletta
Actually, I
football.
will like your hero. If you don't know about football now,
This individual currently plays for the Liberia national team and is a former member of Valletta Football Club.
huh?
5 more seconds.
I won't get my little small point of view.
Who is William Dribble? Who is William Dribble? All right, so we'll close that one. So back to you, Miss Toure, since no one answered that.
So let's come back to slangs for 600 points.
All right. This English term for this word is destroy. The English term for this word is destroy. The English term for this word is destroy.
What is damage?
Okay. What is chakla? Remember, like slangs we're talking about.
Oh,
Damage is an English word too. We're talking about slang. So what is chakla? So we have the minus 600 points from you. Sorry, Mr. Rogers.
How many points I went? Actually, it's back at 200 points.
For 1,000 plus. 1,000 plus to 200.
The people laughing at you here, Mr. Roger, please.
They are all his fans, or the people who are supporting him.
We still have,
all his fans.
We still have a lot of points.
Don't give up. Remember, we also have daily doubles too that can bring you back.
Okay, so let's go back to entertainment.
Okay.
I'm still the one to select the categories, right?
That is correct.
Let's go back to entertainment, please.
But which one?
600.
This individual was the first artist to be signed with a $1 million Liberian sign-on bonus.
1 million?
This individual was the first artist to be signed with a $1 million Liberian sign-on bonus.
Oh, you interviewed a guy recently.
Be giving clue, yeah? 5 more seconds.
I'm trying to guess. Who is? Who is
Basi? I already put the answer up, but time was up.
I am scared to see. I was afraid to see it. I thought I was getting his name wrong.
So who is Basi?
You know, I actually saw, I think one of the blog, they posted about it before, but the name kept on slipping my mind.
No worries. So Miss Toure, back to you, since no one got it.
So we haven't answered any question from the 1847 show category. Let's try 200, please.
She getting almost more.
Yeah, I want huge points to be done.
The previous Music Fest segment contained this many interviews. The previous Music Fest segment contained this many interviews.
Wait, before I answer the question, do we call those that you interview or what?
Just the number of interviews.
Just the number of persons that were on the show.
Oh, okay.
So maybe aside from him, how many persons were also on the show? Since he's the host.
We got 5 more seconds. That only 200 points. Y'all can risk it.
The Music Fest segment.
So wait, Prince, is it just the
what
number?
Are 2 interviews? Remember, we are on time. 10 seconds.
Okay.
What are 2 interviews? Yeah. So it was Basi and Eldres.
We can take another question for that same category.
Okay, which one?
400. So if it's a try 400, those points will still be left there for me.
Okay, so you're taking some risk, yeah? The show recently shared this milestone of followers on its Facebook page.
What is 700?
That is incorrect.
Minus.
I actually died in the show.
5 more seconds.
If we subtract 400 from
you can redeem yourself, or then you'll go back to 0. You can redeem yourself. 30 more seconds.
Okay. What is
I try getting you extra time, I remember. You.
500. So now we
Yeah.
can deduct 400 for his
No, no,
200. He's
it's
left with
400.
negative 200.
Actually, you say you don't
I
have
need,
yourself.
I need daily double. Maybe that daily double will rescue me.
So Miss Toure is in the lead by 2,200 points.
2,200.
Imagine it. I got to imagine. Wow.
I did it double you lead.
You had similar margin and I was still at 0. Wait,
Yeah,
let's go back. Let's go back to slangs.
Okay.
Let's take 400.
Slangs for 400. The phrase bite and blow means this. The phrase bite and blow means this.
Beating around the bush. What is beating around the bush?
What is taking advantage of someone or fooling
Wow.
them? Mr.
But it could
Elijah.
also mean like what Archie said, it could also mean bite and blow, like for us, for in our local parlance. So you're beating around the bush, you're not saying exactly what you intend to say or to hit the nail on its head.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll have mercy upon you and we'll render you the 400
So
points.
we can consider him.
Yeah, we'll consider
Yeah,
you.
at least what? Manos, zero.
She's talking about considering him because you know when I stay at Fed Hub.
No, but honestly, being honest, you can consider it.
No problem. So you back to positive 200 points. So because of that, you can now select the category and points.
Okay, let's do let's do Liberian dishes.
Liberian dishes for what?
Actually, go for a big point.
For Liberian dishes for 600.
That may get your own strategy. Liberian dishes for 600. Daily double. Okay. The ingredients of this dish include rice flour mixed with mashed plantains, butter, eggs, baking soda, sugar, salt, water, and ginger.
What is
5 more seconds.
what is
I did it double.
what?
What is rice bread?
Bread. I didn't honestly I didn't even think of it.
Wow.
So you confuse me with this mashed plantain. It can also be used with banana. So you could have said plantain / banana. So how many points will be deducted from my points?
Nothing. You didn't answer anything.
Okay, but I got it wrong.
You were just thinking that you didn't say anything. I didn't hear you say anything.
I said something.
You heard anything, Mr. Archie? I didn't hear anything.
No, I didn't hear anything.
So maybe you just said it in your head. But if you want, we can subtract points or if you're interested in that.
I said it out loud. I told you people heard it.
No, we didn't hear it.
But this was going for how many points anyway? 600 points.
But go ahead.
600. Okay, let's just do Liberian dishes 400.
Liberian dishes for 400. Was it your turn or Miss Toure? I can't remember.
It was his.
No, it was mine.
All right, very good. Liberian dishes for 400. This dish can be prepared with bitter balls, beans, or cassava leaves. This dish can be prepared with bitter balls, beans, or cassava leaves. Key word here is all, meaning that you can prepare this with all these 3 variations.
Bitter ball, beans, or cassava leaf.
What is tobagi?
What is tobagi? Wow.
Cassava leaf.
Cassava leaf tobagi.
Oh.
All right, that's 400 points for
Wait,
Mr.
you
Rick.
put beans in toboggi?
Huh?
You can do beans tabagi. You can do better about tabagi. But I'm thinking like
Oh,
if you get ready to do cassava leaf tabagi.
I
But
think that the audience will tell you that one now because that's one of my favorite soup. That's one of my favorite soup. But anyway, we'll add your 400 here, so you have 2,600.
ooh, imagine 2,400 margin.
So we still have
sorry,
1,000,
Archie.
2,000. We have enough
So
points
that,
on the
anyway,
board for you
we still have few points.
for you to
Okay.
redeem yourself.
Let's see.
But Mr. Ray, go ahead.
So can we try the last 200 points for Liberian DJs?
Liberian dishes for 200.
Yes.
This dish is a go-to dish for Gio and Mami.
What is GB?
What is GB? You Gio, man.
No, I'm bad, man.
Okay, what is GB? So we'll add 200 points to him.
It's 400 points.
The man slowly coming back up.
I need 1,000 2 times.
All right, so we have 2,000 on the board. Which one do you want?
So let's go to sports 800.
Supposed for 800.
Archie, rather one came in now.
This club swept all 3 domestic trophies for the 2022-2023 season. Remember, we're talking, everything here is about Liberia.
Liberia, right?
Yeah.
What is Liska?
What is Liska Football Club?
Ooh.
You sure that the man won't kill you, or you sure that you don't want to kill him?
I tell you.
No, but I honestly don't know anything about football. So I was just trying that answer.
Why you work, man?
You see,
Keep trying.
he still managed to get it right.
So I have 800 points here, 3,400.
Yes.
Mr. Archie,
Imagine.
I don't know if God stay with you in this game, but we'll see.
Well, let's see how the game will
You know,
end.
not all the prayer God can answer us in that. So let's see.
Let's just finish.
Yeah.
Let's just finish length. 200 points, please.
All right, slangs for 200.
Yes.
The phrase "big book" means this.
What is
The phrase "big
you know
book"
plenty?
means this. What
You know
is
your
you're
answer.
educated? Same thing. You're educated. You know plenty. Same thing. So we'll give you 200 points.
Yeah. Instead of finishing.
Don't give up you. Mr. Stella, back to
No,
you.
but we still have
You can make
different
history.
categories with huge points you haven't even touched.
I swear.
All right. Entertainment, 400 points, please.
A part of this artist's name is the name of a song by Wizkid featuring Lax.
A part of this.
Whiskey featuring last.
A part of this artist's name is the name of a song by Wizkid featuring Lax. So the title of that song, it has a part of it is the name of this person.
It's the title of the song that has the artist's name, or is the entire Whiskey featuring Lax that has the
No, the
artist's
title
name?
of that song that Wizkid and Lax make has the Liberian artist's name.
The artist's name.
5 more seconds.
I wonder which
Let me
one.
just be quiet, yeah. Before my points get deducted, let me just be quiet. Let me
Find out.
just be quiet.
Who is MC Caro?
MC Caro.
Remember Wizkid featuring Lax, they have a song Caro, Looking for My Caro.
Yes.
Yeah, MC Caro. All right. But that one was a
I'm
challenge.
still the one selecting the category. Okay. So let's just complete entertainment.
Daily Double. This entertainer is the namesake of our country, Mama Liberia.
Who is Mama Liberia?
Who is Mama Liberia?
Abbas.
All right.
So he got 400 points. That's 800.
Mr. Roger, back to you.
Let's do sports 400.
Goes for 400. Daily double. This team was the winner of the 2022 National Basketball Championship.
Actually, that one I get idea on you.
What is Mangibi?
That
My
is
GB is a
incorrect.
Can I try
basketball.
again?
You can still redeem yourself. We got 5 more seconds. That is incorrect.
The team was the winner of the 2022 National Basketball
Basketball.
Championship.
What is Mighty Barrow? So we have to deduct 400 points for you.
I think they give it on film.
I thought we were talking about the county meet.
No, it says National Basketball Championship.
Yeah.
All right.
But still, the
Back
one
to you.
selecting Archie.
Yeah. Back to you, Mr. Roger.
Okay. Let's do sports 4,000. Yeah.
Sports
Actually,
for-
when Jabba deduct 1,000 points from your 400, you know how many?
All right. This tournament was inaugurated in 1956 and is played between all countries in various sports.
What is the national county meet?
What is the national county meet?
1,400.
All right. So escape. Back to you, Mr. Roger.
Wow, I don't know one part before I redeem myself. Let's do
Say the 200, let's complete
1847
sports.
for
You know-
800.
Okay.
Well, if you
800.
get all these correct, let's see here. 2004. You can still win the game if you tell everything from the board. So
But there's no
1847
possibility that he can place one.
Let's do 1847 for 800.
800.
He feeling motivated.
The host works for this U.S. government department.
What is the U.S. Army?
That is correct. What is the U.S. Air Force, Army? Same thing. Yeah. All right. So 800 points for you. So you got 2,200.
Okay.
Mr. Ray, you're happy this first month?
Moved
All
here.
right. Back to you, Mr. Roger.
So let's do
You want to try
let's do
1,000 now?
1847 600.
600.
Now let's do the 1847 for 600.
Okay. This individual was the winner of the first edition of the 1847 game show. If you know, you know. That they want other party you can lie on.
Archie is
No,
critically
no.
thinking.
If
And
you
how
know,
he
you
could
know.
think.
No lie.
No, Leon, that way.
No letter. Hey,
Yeah.
5 more seconds. All right. Who is Emmanuel?
Manachi.
Yeah. All right. So nobody got that right. So back to you, Mr. Rogers.
Okay.
So we just left for 2
Let's do sports for
200 points.
200.
This club is the champ of the 2022-2023 LFA Women's Lower League.
Wow.
If I don't know, I don't want
This
any.
one you may say your points get deducted right away.
So I don't know. I don't want any deduction.
This club is the champ of the 2022 LFA. Let's see.
Actually,
5
you
more.
can try that.
5 more seconds.
5 more seconds.
Nah,
5 more
it's
seconds.
No lie.
No lag. What is Shatta Angels FC?
Ooh.
And I believe Benita Ure is the president of this club.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
I've seen that terrace.
From the look of things, maybe unless if the 1,000 is a
It's the only one available now.
Well, we don't have.
If it's not-
I don't think we had a daily double from the 1847 show here, so it could be.
So
So this could be a daily double.
If there's a daily double,
Yes.
then he could win, or whoever could win.
yeah.
Let's see. Yep, this artist's
Yes.
appearance on the show got the most engagement to date.
Who is
Basi.
Basi?
Oh my! Wow.
He was just fast to say that, so he was just so fast.
Wow. And this is why you never give up in
The
life.
race is not to the swift. He that endures.
No, no. But I said, because I was going to say the same, but I even said it. So just that you went ahead.
Oh,
But it's
it's
okay.
whoever says it first.
Yeah, I'll win another time. It's okay. At least I didn't lose with 0.
So
Imagine
we
for
need a
0
speech.
next.
We need a speech for you, Mr. Roger. What? Like champion leaf on you.
No, this was actually a tough one. Yeah, but it's to be honest, this was actually a great game, and it's my
And
first
actually,
time
are the
playing.
pulling fans? Oh, yeah. Your fans are in the comment section cheering for you.
Yeah, this was actually a great game, and I think it was fair enough, right?
No, it wasn't fair enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It
fair.
was
No,
it was fair
You
enough.
are just...
I feel like I still need to go back to learn some of these common Liberian slangs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I think Prince is actually doing a great job.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and this is something that we all should be applauding. Yeah, but this was a great show, and I highly appreciate the invitation. I also want to say thanks to Estella. We had a great discussion, and I look forward to coming back again whenever the need be. I want to say thanks again to all those who are in the comment section. Yeah, this was a great
All
one.
your fans, man.
Yeah.
all his fans are cheering for him.
All your 1 million fans, man. That's it, my man. So, what life lesson do you want to teach Miss Estella
But
today?
going back and just sharing our own local parlance and our own slangs, and sharing about Liberia and our different ministries and just about Liberia on the focus. It kind of make us free, in our own space to talk about our country, create more love for our country, and just be who we are because we are Liberians. And that's one thing we should always try to project, and we should feel comfortable about. We shouldn't hide or shy away from that. Though, yeah, our country has been through, its own share of rough times. We've had the civil war, and we have violence going across Liberia, elections time, and all these things. But then we are still Liberian. In the end, it still falls back on who we are. So I think it's just good, and this whole program just allow us to celebrate who we are as Liberians. So thank you so much, Jabo, for having me today.
Of
I
course.
look forward to being here always.
Of course. And Mr. Achi, I think you've already been reminded about a great life lesson, and to everyone watching is do not give up until
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
You never know. And I was not expecting it to happen like that,
I
sir.
was going to win this game.
I was not expecting
No,
it.
but I wasn't expecting it to happen like that. I thought we had already had, daily double in the first lineup before the last one, but
Yeah, that's awesome, guys. So I'll just give you
but
guys
congratulations, Archie, congratulations.
yeah.
Thank you,
So
Estella.
just give a closing remark to each of you. I know you said a little bit, Miss Estella, but Mr. Rogers, you can go ahead, your closing remarks, and then we'll call it a day here.
Yeah. So again, Mr. B, thank you to Prince for this show. It still comes back to the same thing. There are a lot more we need to learn about our country, from entertainment, ditches, music, what you call it, sports, and the list just goes on. Even our colloquia, something that we all share in common. So there are so much more we can still learn about Liberia. So these things, if we can try to reflect some of these things in the content we put out there, Liberia will be well known. People will have a different perspective of Liberia, and people will want to come to Liberia to invest into the economy. And even our tourism industry, which is something we've been talking about since today, we'll see that our tourism industry will start to boom. So I think this is actually a great platform. The fact that Prince can bring young people here to talk about common problems that we share and how we can come up with solutions to address these problems. I think it's something that is commendable, and we all should support this platform, and we should support the work that he's doing as well. So with content, which is something we have already talked about, if you don't have the finance to share content or to produce content, start with whatever you have. You don't have to wait, to have millions of dollars. Start with whatever you have. You have to be intentional about it. Have a purpose for why you are doing it, and stay consistent with it. And there are a lot more we can showcase about Liberia. People are doing it. Just try to add value to your content. Once you have added value to your content, people want to watch it, and in return, people will support your work. So again, I want to say this was a great show, and it was also a great conversation, and also a great game. I love the game component of this platform and the show itself. So once more, thanks to everyone for the comment, engagement, and for sharing. We highly appreciate it.
Awesome, thank you. And we like to talk a lot of intellectual stuff, but like the people can say Jag will outplay, made Jag or stupid boring.
Yeah.
So we have to
Exactly.
find a good balance between there as well. So thank you for your remarks. And then Miss Estella, we want to give you the floor one last time to leave any final closing remarks. So you can go ahead if you have anything.
So, like Roger has already said, this is a good platform. Like we talk about,
Ooh.
So I think in our own little way, this is something we are projecting about our country, and that's something good, and about us Liberians, who we are, our kind of uniqueness, like I'll say it, how unique we are. So I think, and cope up with the fact that we are blending it with, some of our these fun games, and with our slogans and things like that. It gave it a more enjoyable part about it. It adds flavor to it. So I think it's good. And, we should just continue to do what we do, and other young people enjoy it. Like we have people now following in the comment section, sharing their own comments and being part of what we do, is because they relate to what we are doing on this platform. And that's why encouraging them to come. And in a more better way, it's impacting them. So I think we can just continue with what we're doing. We advance ourselves. We try to advance ourselves, with the platform more and more, and encourage other young people who are into content creating and technology, to be passionate. Like Roger said, be intentional about what they're doing. Be intentional about what you want to project, what you want to send out, what you want people to see about your country, what you want people to know who you are, because in a way you are projecting who you are, where you come from, So it's important to be intentional about it, and it's important to project quality content. So thank you again for having me. It was fun playing with Archie, in the game. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course. And thank you all for, not only accepting the invitation, but being here on time. Much appreciated. It's always challenging to host this and then trying to get everybody logged in on time. So thank you guys. And then for those of you watching, you've been watching the 1847 show. I'm your host, Prince Larmain Jarbo, and this was season 1, episode 14, which was part of our series called Reimaging Liberia. This concludes the series. However, we have other upcoming series, so please follow the show to watch any previous or upcoming episodes of other series. And of course, don't forget to follow, subscribe, and like our page to stay engaged. Until next time, God bless you and God bless Mama Liberia. Take care.
Ah, lucky ball.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of Liberia and to the republic for which it stands. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't know. Listen. Mama Liberia, you will rise again. And more your friend and you will shine again. Yeah. Nobody will look down on you again. I prophesy to you, you will regain your dignity again. All hill, Liberia hill. Red, white, and blue is where I represent for sure. This rural land of liberty shall long be for all of us. I'm not talking about one person, all of us.
You are watching the 1847 show. The 1847 show celebrates you, me, and all things Liberian. Follow the 1847 show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. The 1847 show, all things Liberian.
We at Peace TV help your loved ones and friends to see features of your programs on all social media platforms. Our services are of good qualities and very affordable. We render the following services: still pictures, video promotion, talk show hosting, live wedding coverage, funeral services, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Book us today and have a memorable experience.